Ladies and gentlemen, la Mascaras. Ah, the cat is coming in for his tea. The Neumann KMS105 and the Earthworks SR314. Now, why have I chosen these two mics? I'm going to tell you. The Neumann KMS105 I've had for several years. It's a fine mic. Ultimately, it doesn't suit me fully, but I'm not going to complain. And a number of people, students like it. Some of them have bought it. The Earthworks SR314, reasonably new to me. I've used it a lot, and I've got to the phase where I'm not using it so much because the thrill of the new. And I've been using the biodynamic M88 a fair bit. I like it. Both of them have a little something about them. This one I called La Mascara, because it's as if you just put some mascara on. And this one has a hint of it too. Both of them are high-end condenser mics, so they're not really a rock and roll tool, though you've got to be careful with that. But let me look at what the manufacturers have to say. So the Neumann, first of all, costs in England £400, and they call it a studio grade microphone. Feedback rejection is good. Studio quality condenser capsule, sorry about the cat. Transparent sound with a gentle treble lift. Highly effective foam-free pop filter. The Earthworks, on the other hand, is £699, let's say 700. So from 400 to 700. And I'll leave you to read all that. But I'm going to tell you what I think. But before I do that, I guess it's wise to look at the plot, the frequency plot. So looking at them both of them are remarkably flat through the mid. The Neumann at the top has that treble lift. I imagine that's where the Mascara resides, though I don't think it's only about accentuation, because you could put that treble lift on a SM58 and it wouldn't sound the same, I'm sure. At the low end, we see the proximity trace there, which starts above 500 and then tails off below 50. If we look at the Earthworks, well, it's quite interesting at the top. Not quite sure what to make of that, other than to say if you were to kind of smooth all that out a bit, there'd be a gentle treble lift. So there again, I think, is the Mascara, and then very, very flat and very, very flat right to the end, and no proximity trace is shown, sadly. So, this is my interpretation, but check the manufacturer to make sure, because I could be wrong. This one has a certain character to it which is very pleasing, particularly in the top. It has some accentuation in the lows, but ultimately for me, that accentuation is too high, and I find in my voice it gets a little bit boxy, something I don't quite like, and then it hasn't really got the low end, which for me goes down to about 56 hertz or so, 60. So very pleasing, but yeah, the boxiness and the lack of the real low end for me. But as studio, it's meant to be obviously studio condenser, so we're expecting clear, clean, reasonably fast. The Earthworks has a little bit of that Mascara at the top. It has a ridiculous frequency response from 30, I believe, to 30 kilohertz, something like that. Or was it 20 to 30 kilohertz? Not sure. Check it out. So it has a little bit of that Mascara at the top there. It also has detail and I think speed. We have to be careful with that one, but I'm going to try and check that out later. And for me, it doesn't have the boxiness, and it goes all the way down, and it does so cleanly. It does so cleanly. Another thing that they mention is that they try to make it very even off-axis, which we'll look at, and they try to make the proximity gentle and controllable. So should be an easy ride in terms of moving it around the place. If we have a look at them, and here they are, try and get my hands out of the way and not knock. Oh, yeah. So you can probably see pretty much the same size. Well, Earthworks a tad longer, and because the Earthworks doesn't have the waist there, it certainly gives a sensation of being bigger, and that is compounded by the additional weight. So it feels like you've got it in your hands. Both of them feel well engineered. The plugs fit on this one snugly. The two plugs I've got are slightly different. They're both, it's manufacturing tolerances. So I swapped them about, and on the Neumann, it goes from snug, I would say, to a little bit loose, but no problem, no rattling about or anything. And on the Earthworks, it goes from snug to very snug. Like if it got any snugger, you wouldn't get it in, but you can, which I rather like. The Neumann sounds like this. Aha, sounds like brass to me. Very nicely made. And the Earthworks stainless steel, I believe, and very well damped in the body, no ringing. Bit of texture on there for grip, because you haven't got much to let you know where you are. Not really any texture, but quite grippy, surprisingly. Why would that be? There you go. And also you've got... So yeah, if this were a gun, I hope that's not offensive. I don't like such things or the idea of them, but if this were... Well, you'd want this rather than this. But I haven't found it a problem. I guess that's all well and good, but it's how they sound that we're mostly interested in. So I'm going to compare them, firstly, each to the SV33, and then between each other. Earthworks and Earthworks. And I'll see, I'm on the 33, I'm going to see what I notice immediately. I'm on the 33 and I'm going to see what I notice immediately. I'm on the 33 and I'm going to see what I notice immediately. I'm not on the 33 and I'm going to see what I notice immediately. I'm not on the 33 and I'm going to see what I notice immediately. I've gone back to the 33 and immediately I say, I've gone back, I think I notice a bit more firmness around there, which may be because there's not so much at the top, though it's obviously it's there. There's not accentuation perhaps at the top. Back on the 314, back on the 3, and it's around that area there that the mascara resides, as far as I can tell. Yeah, bring it in a bit closer. Bring it in a bit closer. On the 33 a bit closer. On the 33 a bit closer. That is there on the 33, but it doesn't seem to have that slight highlight to it. I'm on the 33. What do I notice immediately? Excuse me. I'm on the 33. And what do I notice immediately? I'm on the 33. And what do I notice immediately? I'm not on the 33. And what do I notice immediately? What I notice immediately is that it feels a bit more compact. In a nice way, but a bit more compact, which you'd expect, I guess. I'm not on the 33. I'm not on the 33, and what do I notice? I'm not on the 33, and what do I notice? I'm on the 33, and what do I notice? I'm on the 33, and what do I notice? Yes, more expanse, and again, yeah, but it's sweet enough, isn't it? It's all, I was going to say spiky, but it's not really. Well, it's spiky, but like a silk spike. If you could have a silk spike, a silk spike, a silk spike, a silk spike, a silk spike. To my ears, it sounds like the 33 goes higher, which it does, but of course I know that, so this all gets very tricky, doesn't it? A silk spike, but it seems to have that, a silk spike on the S. A silk spike, a silk spike, a silk spike. Very smooth and feels a bit curtailed on the very high frequencies to my ears, and then I can sense that proximity coming in there. So that's comparing them to the 33. Now to each other. Later. So I'm on the Neumann. You know, I'm on the Neumann. I'm on the Neumann. Yes, I'm on the Neumann. I'm not 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 on the Neumann. I'm on the Neumann. I'm on the... What I noticed, that's the area for me that gets a bit... Yeah. I'm on the right one. Make sure I'm not leading you up the garden path with a load of baloney. There's its hump, which doesn't do it for me. But it might do it for you. Maybe that's why a lot of female singers or higher voice singers like it, because that just adds warmth for them, whereas for me it's too high up. It adds a... Where was I? Let's look at the top. Let's just go through the range. Let's look at the top. So it's nice up there, isn't it? Look at the top. Let's look at the top. Look at the top. Look at the top. Let's look at the top. 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 Look at difficult to say. I immediately noticed on the Earthworks filling in there, which wasn't on the Neumann, but we're trying to isolate the top. You got to listen with your own ears, but this speed thing, I think that area resolves it. What's the word? That area reveals it most. That's what I'm beginning to find. I don't know why. It's because it's high frequency-ish. There's lots of high stuff in there. There's lots, but it's mostly high, but not real high. But and also I think because of the air rushing and it's very complex. because things are bouncing around all over the place, and you've got a few little low frequencies in there as well. So I think that the ability, the speed of the diaphragm to change to all that complexity at that speed in that area is, I have the feeling, is where this speed shows itself. That's been my feeling recently. Coming down to the mid-range then. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to mess about and sing some stuff, and then you'll hear it all. I'll tell you what else I noticed then. Let's go, oh, you know about the hump on the Neumann. Let's go to the lower end and just see. Going to the lower end. Oh, going to the lower end. Yeah, going to the lower end. That's the Earthworks Neumann, going to the lower end. Going to the lower end. Not very rewarding for me, and I'm aware of that brooding. I'll leave the singing to the end. Let's do a few other things. In no particular order, handling noise. Well, it's kind of okay. It's perhaps a little bit disappointing, maybe, and it's reasonably high up as well, which is going to be difficult to do much about without affecting voice. Lord of mercy. That is superb. If you've got headphones, there is some thunder which you could get rid of. I wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't handle it like that, but if I had to, I would. You could. There's a higher stuff, which I think is probably acoustic from that just so you don't get confused, from the whatever it is, the texture on there. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Now, somebody did in the comments write something about the noise. They had one of these. It's not so much the P's. I mean, there's a thud there, but, you've got to be careful. Again, I've got a video on pops, plosives and things in microphones. Really control it here as best you can first, if you can. And then hold to the side rather than right in the front there and get all that blustering. But I think with the Earthworks, it can be noisy as on the something round about there. I mean, it's very tricky. I don't know how you break up all that stuff and then allow the sound through. Must be, but anyway, I think you have to watch out for that compared to the Neumann. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Very well done, isn't it? Peter Piper picked. Bear in mind, it doesn't go low, so you're not going to get the doof, 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 because it just doesn't do it. Peter Piper picked a peck. Who do you think you are? 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 It's good on that. Who do you think you are? Very good. I'm not sure what this is. We should be able to tell, shouldn't we? When I say we, I'm taking it off myself and putting it on you, innit? So I'm at the front here, going round to the side, going round to the side, going round to the side, going round to the side. There's a rejection, going round to the side, going round to the side. Quite a wide sweet spot, not bad. Going round to the side, rejection, rejection, going round to the back, going round to the back, going round to the back, going round to the side. My guess would be it's supercardioid because there's quite a lot of leakage there, but I can't quite get my mouth. Well, my mouth's as near as any speaker's going to go in a direction and coming around to the side. So I'm guessing it's supercardioid. Yeah, and quite manageable around there. This is the Earthworks. This is the Earthworks going round to the side, going round to the side, going round to the side, going round to the side. Quite severe rejection there. Coming round to the back, coming round to the back there. Sounds to me like this one might be cardioid. Not sure. Coming round, coming round, coming round. Quite a lot of rejection there. And then, of course, it's quite noisy because of all this, but rejection's not, you're not going to be singing into it like that. It's just going to be picking up sound without the wind. Round to the side there, I noticed it comes on very evenly. Comes on very evenly. Comes on very evenly. So yes, a wide sweet spot, as they say, whilst I'm on it. Let's see what it's like there in terms of bass response, because they've tried to even that out a bit. High, 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 high. Seems very even to me. High, 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 high. So there on the Neumann you can hear that it just sounds like paper because it's gone. High, high, high. Starts to come in there. High, 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 high. Doesn't really get much better. Well, I'm going to give myself some something and just see. Just see. Huh. Just see what I. Just see what I. Just see what I. Just see what I. Earthworks. See what I. Just. Neumann, just see what I. Neumann, just see what I. That's accentuation at the top. I can see. Just see what I. Yeah, what I. Yeah, what I. Bit disappointing in the bottom for me. Yeah, just the bottom for me. The bit disappointing in the bottom for me. Yeah, see what I feel. 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 Well. All right, two kind of state-of-the-art, one a bit more state-of-the-art I would say really, but two top-class microphones. One not exactly twice as much, but knocking on that way as the other, but both of them a considerable investment anyway. Sometimes about that kind of thing I feel if you're going to spend money, providing it's not ridiculous, spend the money and be done. If you feel one's right for you, if you feel a good mic is right for you, careful with yourself. You can get carried away with stuff, but if you're going to use it a lot, job done. Seems to me you get paid back week after week after gig after gig after year. You get paid back. So that's value for money, seems to me. I do feel they're fairly similar. I hope you can hear the differences. So, I don't know what to say really, but I'm going to say this. If I were to improve one and improve the other, what improvements would I make to each? Bearing each other in mind. Well, with the Neumann, you probably guessed, I would like to be rid of that upper bass boxiness in my voice, well, anybody's voice really. Make it gentler and bring it lower. That's done in here, I think, with some components, electronic components. Maybe have another version. Maybe have a male version. I've said this before. The top, yeah, I'd leave it because you can take it down. So that would be this one's flavour, the Mascara. But give me, that might be beautiful. Other than that, very good. See if you could reduce the handling noise a bit, perhaps. Earthworks, pretty much there for me. Despite all the effort gone into the breath thing. If you could make that more like this, then that would pretty much be all for me. I like the way it looks. Some people don't. I do. That would pretty much be it. For me, it's a no-brainer. If I only had one mic, it would be this one, for sure. But for you, maybe a bit different. So anyway, I think that's about it really. That's enough. And I'll see you next time.